There's only been a couple of series where I've read lots of the chapters in bulk. First it was Berserk, then Baki. Then after watching the first season of The Promised Neverland, I was really impressed. I then started to binge read The Promised Neverland after season 1 to the current chapter at the time, only 2 days later after finishing season 1. After 2 days I was on chapter 128, the latest one at the time. Boy, do the anime watchers have a lot of fun, but a long wait, and I can't wait to see everything anime in the future. But anyway, I'll be telling you today why you should read The Promised Neverland. The Promised Neverland is basically a horror, but it's a lot more than that, as you'll find out as you read. And it's created by, I do apologise, I'm going to mispronounce this, Shirai for the story, and the art done by posuka demizu. The series only started in 2015 and continues its course with huge success, and to this day, with 134 chapters currently in, and even though there might be like a lot of chapters to go through, it's a nice and easy read. And it's generally a really good story, and the interesting things is about learning about the world of the Promised Neverland, and the lore as well is really interesting. The story basically has 3 main characters, even though it's technically revolved around 1, but the 3 is focused on Emma, Norman and Ray, all aged 11, and they all are the smartest in the orphanage called Gracefield House. They all in the care of Mum, and at the start of the series is the only one caring for them. All the kids in the orphanage have tattoos on their necks with 6 numbers, and they go out and have fun in the fields and the forest, and they can play and be the kids they are. They all do tests, of which are multiple choice questions, for which I believe anyway. It seems every day, all because, kids need a good education and that good sort of thing. For a great future, of course, in their adult lives. The funny thing is that there are nobody over the age of 12 seems to be there, and looks like the adults who adopt them only really like them as they get older from the age 12 upwards. Or in fact the young ones who don't really do well on their tests and struggle in games like tag seem to always be picked first for adoption. Now, if you really want to experience what The Promised Neverland is and what I have said has inspired you already to check out it already, you can either read the first chapter or the first episode of the anime. The first episode is available in dubbed and subbed, but for me to explain why you should read The Promised Neverland, I have to explain the main plot of the story, and I don't want to rob you of the experience of the thing that sets things up in the main plot of the story. If you want to at least give it a taste or a try, you can experience that now. Once you are done watching or reading the first episode or chapter, I can get into more of what you should expect to come. Okay, I'll see you soon. Just come back to this point in the video once you've done reading the first chapter or reading the first manga or first episode, watching the first episode. So yeah, if people don't care about spoilers and stuff, but I really recommend you just read the first chapter, the first 60 pages of the first chapter, or watching, yeah. And I'm about to talk the spoilers after episode 1 or chapter 1 in 3, 2, 1. Okay, now I think you've realised why I recommend you watch the first episode or chapter to understand the tone and what the story is about. First time experiencing the story myself, I was genuinely devastated by what I've seen happen to Conny. It's just upsetting and really made me realise how dark and tragic the story was going to be and why I should keep reading. And I can guarantee that most of you watching this feel the same way. I was pretty much hopefully got you guys watching and reading, so I'm no longer quiet. So this is surely where I should end the video, right? Well, obviously not. For those who, even after watching the first episode or chapter, still need a little bit more of a boost to continue the series, I'll be more than happy to help with that. But remember, the anime of the first season is out, and the dub is also currently airing as well. So if you want to check that out, feel free to go ahead. But we're making a video of why you should read it or watch it. But I'm pretty sure while watching the first episode, you're hooked already. So yeah, but anyway, the series has been compared to Death Note. And why you might ask? Because it's not all about full-on combat, but combat within the minds of the children going up against Mum and the demons. And this is a really good comparison because not only because you both are an amazing series, but both are not your typical shonen jumps, and they're also both shonen jumps as well, and both using the intelligence of the characters to survive the evil minds of the opponents. Because one more move won't necessarily cost you your life, but could you put you in a really difficult situation, even dangerous ones, with death just around the corner. So unfortunately, you won't be seeing Emma firing a funnel blast at any of the demons, but you will see intense situations, not only for Emma and the gang to protect themselves, but also their fellow comrades could end up in hot water if they're not careful. I will talk about the main character Emma alongside Ray and Norman. She's basically a leader type character, but compared to Ray and Norman, she is more compassionate to her fellow orphans. She's the one who wants them all to get out with when they get out, when they want to escape. But Ray and Norman only want a couple for an easier trip to get out, but Emma convinces both of them that it's best to get them all out because it's the right thing to do. She's a happy and outgoing, and like I said, she's one of the smartest characters in the series, along with Ray and Norman. She's technically third, I believe. The group of orphans look up to her in the story as a leader and someone to just guide them through this tough time, like if she was a mum herself. Ooh. And she can be very adorable at times, and she always puts everyone else first. Ray is basically, out of the three, most in the background, possibly the second best, smartest character, but Emma takes over due to her charisma and big heart. But Ray is more okay with her taking it over, as it's not really in his character to be the caring one. He does care, mind you, by the way, but he probably doesn't feel the need to. He's the most cold out of the three, the most logic over the feelings type of guy as well. And despite being good friends with Emma and Norman, he likes to keep himself to himself, but he's also the most cunning. Norman is also a leader and the number one smartest out of the three. He's the one who plans the best and is the most confident, but the more mystery left about him, the better. The other orphans have their own key roles in the plans, and it's the top three that really call the shots and play the goal in the story. Mum, of course, you've seen, is a manipulative woman who's keeping the kids into the Gracefield house for their doom, and puts on acts all the time so the demons can have their meals. She is the beginning protagonist, and the three guys plan to fight her and get out of the orphanage, obviously in the mindset sort of way. The demons I could explain, but I don't really want to go into, as I think you should find out stuff out for yourself as you read the story. The other characters that come in the future are very good, and they know how to make good characters, like the storyteller in this story, in their own style and the way they look. You should be looking forward to them in the future. Let's move on to the art. I really like the art. It's not on Berserk's level or anything like that, but it's really wacky and creative and really fits the theme of the story. The creator also has a Twitter, so check that out for the other art they do and have done. One of the things I can say sometimes doesn't look right, and I don't mean that in the appropriate sense. I mean it just looks dodgy sometimes, like the head angles, not right. I would say it's weird, like it's not going to destroy the reads by any means, but I love the fact that it's unique and it's pretty nice to look at. But it might be due to down to a tight schedule, I don't know, but sometimes it can look a bit meh, and it won't bother you to the point, won't bother you much, but But if you look at the creators' Twitter, you can see it's their own unique style. So it's not like they choose to like. Well, they obviously choose to, but like it's not like because they're like bad or anything. But it's like their own creative style. And for the anime, I'll recommend I do another video to recommend that. But yeah, that's basically why you should read it, guys. It's basically joined in second with Baki for my favourite anime mangas. It's Berserk and then Baki and The Promised Neverland. I've also done episode reviews of The Promised Neverland, but I don't think you'd be interested in that. But yeah, definitely recommend you watching or reading. It doesn't really matter what, you'll enjoy them both equally as well. Anyway, guys, I've also done why you should read Baki. I'll be also doing a why you should read the Dr. Stone video coming up soon, so look forward to that. Anyway, guys, it's been your boy Luffy Murdoch. I love you all, and I'll see you next time. Peace. Check out The Promised Neverland.